first few weeks of the sub, and we
I like how they put that as some kind of accomplishment. Mr. P was a fucking war hero who posted all the cringe solo. This man was the genesis of cringe. The Professor Xavier of cringe. Going into Cerebro for you guys. Why won't you go to his website and pay him for it? Okay, I want to see what happened with Cringetopia. So one YouTube video, but it's not a YouTube night, don't get it twisted.
Tells me, Mutahar, and how excited are you all when you think about the words cringe? I think a lot of us on the internet have grown up with it, have come to experience it, and it's become part of our internet, like, vernacular, if you will. We all like looking at cringe.
Goddamn right.
When it comes to Reddit, it's all filled with cringe. And of course, while the entire site may be that case,
Tier 1
there's
reckless.
specific Reddits just celebrated to that specific cause. Such as r/cringe, when it just hurts to watch, okay? Now,
that shit is so old, too. They've been around for like a decade.
We've got about 1.3 million members sharing the
even longer than
material on this website, okay?
Here's a tier
of
1.
course, some of the posts are very lighthearted. Like, some of them are Uber don't eat. Have you ever seen this Uber ad? Okay, it's literally where, like, people order random shit off Uber, and apparently the people inside there just eat whatever they see. Honey, I just ordered some Clorox. Are we down to go? No, don't do it. Don't eat the stick of deodorant. Don't eat anything that's not meant for human consumption. There you go. It's a pretty cringy advertisement, but it is what it is.
Keeping all the glorious forbidden foods to themselves.
Hilarious cringe, like ha 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 ha. Not sad enough for r/cringe.
Ooh, someone brought it up. I was wondering if anyone would bring it up. Crypto is eating shit right now. Like, Bitcoin dropped under 30K, right? But then there's what's that stablecoin, Luna? I think it's Luna. That shit is going to hit 0. That shit is actually going to hit 0. All of it is tanking, and I solely blame NFTs. I'm sure there's a real reason, but I'm just going to assume it's NFTs, because people fucking hate NFTs so much, and it's discredited all of crypto. Every crypto across the board, even the ones that are like legitimately decent projects, are all bursting. These are Subtingy, Purple, Branch, and Banji.
Cringe, too creepy for just neckbeard things. Ladies and gentlemen, hilarious cringe.
I mean, you can buy the dip if you want, but I just wonder if it's ever coming back. This shit looks like it's absolutely flatlining.
Cringe. In fact, the largest is r/Cringetopia. Now, for those people who are watching the video and are not playing Mass Effect on a second monitor, yes, that is in fact a furry profile picture right there. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it seems as though there's been some weird furry warfare going on.
As you suggest.
Now, of course, we're about to witness probably some of the most insane shit on the internet. We're about to probably witness some of the most unhinged crap we're about to read. Now, of course, this subreddit isn't too terribly exciting, despite the fact it has one of the
some holy gamers.
1.8 million members.
Lazy Lores in Tier 1. Hey, Inzivic. Thanks for Tier 1, man.
Now, of course, they post standard cringe
some kitties
like
in the prime Biz and Frog.
6. Oh, boys, I got it early. Again, I don't understand how this is cringe. You can't lie on the internet. You can't disprove that isn't GTA 6, now can you? Sometimes you get shit like this. I just had my first kiss. Like, for real, with a lady? Yeah. Your mom doesn't count. Yeah, but yours does. Start writing your will.
Yep, that's Reddit.
Oh, are we straight up sharing 9gag? Woo, maybe it's a good thing that this whole site was taken down. Of course, then you get some...
Yeah, out of all, like, that Reddit r/cringe shit, Cringetopia had the absolute worst shit. I'm pretty sure it was mainly composed of, like, 13-year-olds that just found atheism or something. They would just share, like, blatant satire. And, like, the actual worst, most ancient memes ever. It's fucking awful. So the fact that that subreddit's down is probably just for the best, but I still don't understand what happened. So that's why we're watching Mutahar here, so I get more of an explanation for what went down, because it was a huge subreddit. There's the Prime, Owl, Andy, Obi-Wan, and the resub Riceball, Gladion, Sink Beef, Flat Row, Low-Key, and Nuclear. Also, I saw you going wild in XQC's chat today in Civic.
Some other shit like, hey guys, have you ever seen like
Josh?
CPU is
or at least I think it was today.
Here, watch this
Today's
one.
kind of a fucking blur now.
I don't even know why this is cringe, but somebody starts cooking a piece of spam on top of like an NVIDIA GPU. How is this cringe? Okay, this is actually pretty awesome. This should be on r/modly interesting. Some dude's cooking using the power of gaming. Now, the thing with cringe subreddits, or really any communities like this, is they do require a degree of moderation. You know, it used to be years ago.
Reddit mods,
just sharing
unsung heroes.
any sort of weird agenda posting or anything. And that was pretty much
Thanks for 10 gift subs, Jess.
But the reason I and many others stopped really partaking in the Cringetopia Reddits, at least this is what I've talked to with friends, you know, in Discord, is there always seemed to be a little bit of an agenda being pushed the last 2 years.
Not really a fan, Pokemonsters.
Less about the cringe and more about just like, hey guys, fuck these people. And then those people would come to the Reddit and they would have like a giant war between each other, arguing in the comments, you know, basically going ape shit. And it wasn't really about the cringe, okay? And basically because of it, some of these communities, some members in them, started to, of course, harass and brigade individuals. Okay, it became an issue in not just Cringetopia.
Moisty Sports did not win the whole tournament. We got second to BDS.
Reddit, as it grows larger, as
our boys did amazing though.
A lot more involved in issuing some level of moderation requirements for incredibly large communities like this, right? Like if you have a community like this, like for instance, live stream fails as a community, right? If somebody gets
ooh, real quick before he goes into LSF, does anyone else think LSF's kind of dying? It seems like all the top posts on LSF have like 10, 15 comments. And like now all the top posts have like maybe 2K likes. Or updates, whatever the fuck, I keep forgetting, updates. It just seems like it's that whole community is kind of abandoning it now. What happened? Thanks to the Prime Thrasher, sponsor in the resub Gooch, Orange Crush, Obama, and gift sub Rocky. Parasocial shit is dying. I think it's probably bigger than ever, honestly. I think it's just something exclusive with LSF. I think it must have been like a rule change or something. Thanks for resub, Danny, but I don't keep up enough with like subreddits. All the streamers are banning themselves. I know Hassan banned himself a while back. QT and Maya and Pay Money Wubby. I mean, it's still not a ton of people, though. LSF has always been mainly XQC clips and OTK clips, and those are still there, but the engagement is significantly lower than ever. In fact, here, I haven't checked today. Let me check today here. We'll get a little wacky, just in case. Before I look like an idiot, and it turns out the top posts are like super engaged. No, it's about what I was saying. Yeah, here. It's like 32 comments, 18. Top post is definitely toss. Alright, well, it's blurred out. This one must have been some kind of Coomer shit. 241 comments. Alright. More ear blowjobs or something. Yeah, it just seems like LSF isn't as popular as it once was. It's been like this for the last, what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks maybe? 11 comments here, 450 updo to Rooney's, like, I don't know. Seems like it's starting to fizzle out a bit. It's because of the clip channels popping up on YouTube. Asmon's clip channel in particular has been really blowing up, but I don't think that'd kill LSF or anything. Hey, Alex. Well, I'm not complaining or anything, I was just curious as to what killed it. LSF, even for all its flaws, was always like a good source to at least keep your finger on the pulse of Twitch news. But now it is quite literally like nothing. There's almost nothing going up there. Thanks to resub Nano, Metal Fox, Imploding, Seth, and Blank. Top one is a girl blowing the hell out of a dildo. Alright. Hey, thanks for tier 1, Alex. Resub Ghost. Appreciate it.
Posted on LSF that's a smaller streamer, there needs to be some practices to try to prevent as much brigading or harassment to that person. If somebody posts a truly cringy clip on LSF of somebody doing some dumb shit, there's unfortunately going to be some level of harassment or some level of brigading to that individual. Now again, regarding the size of a channel, right? Like if let's say it's a small channel and they get brigaded by a post that has like 40,000 upvotes on LSF, it makes the LSF community look bad. Because
Moki got second in the Smash tournament.
To just look at the cringe, call it a day.
He did amazing.
On to the next post, like normal people, they decided to jump into a board and level some harassment. That started to happen on numerous boards. and some of it could have been tied back to Cringetopia, okay? Now, 14 days ago...
Yeah, I saw that. I saw this post.
State of the subreddit. The admins will probably try to silence us and
remove tier 1 dab.
Don't
Resub Bruck.
Now, I remember when I was covering the Acer Thorn video about a week ago, I actually looked at...
Dragon.
I actually saw this furry profile picture,
Prime
and
Craig.
I totally didn't even get the fact that this was taken over at the time. But this was a post made just a week even before that. Just wanted to let you guys know that Reddit has made a lot of administrative changes recently, what we were just talking about. We don't exactly fit the wholesome 100 vision that Reddit corporate has adopted for the site in light of their upcoming IPO. They've been removing some of our best posts and banning some of our best users
hey, fuck yeah,
for
Alex.
frivolous reasons.
It sounds
some of
good.
Our moderators have been banned recently, without warning, for seemingly no reason at all, including the creator, owner of the sub. Reddit is taking actions against us without any explanation at all, either before or after the fact, so it looks like they will probably just take the subreddit down and give in to their favorite power janies, as in tradition. I'll be honest, I have no idea what the hell a fucking power janie... Oh, I guess
janitor.
It's just a janitor of the image board or forum, who do their job for free. It's a thankless affair, but yeah, there it is. Mr. Positive didn't really care, but now the admins have banned his girlfriend for no reason whatsoever, and there's no way for her to even appeal. Here's proof that they are two different people posting in good faith. So again, they've got some ban messages going around, literally two actual different individuals with different accounts posting. And of course, Reddit has permanently suspended them for using alternate accounts to evade subreddit bans, because Reddit believed those two users were one and the same. Just my opinion, but women shouldn't have to worry about being banned because Reddit doesn't like their boyfriends. That's not very wholesome 100 at all. It could happen to you. Anyways, this is where it gets wild, okay? I want you to prepare your butt cheeks for this one. Anyways, I'm sure most of you don't actually give a shit, and I wouldn't blame you.
Yeah, that shit was wild.
What is Martin Luther King?
So, for what it's worth, I'm pretty sure the person that wrote that was doing it to actually kill the subreddit. Because you'll see at the end, they posted the Cringetopia official site, and I think they were taking donos for it. So I think the whole goal was to nuke that subreddit to drive traffic to their site. Like, hey, Cringetopia subreddit's going down, you're going to have to get all this fire TikTok highlights on cringetopia.org or something like that. I don't think it was made seriously, but I could be wrong too. It's hard to really get into the head of a Reddit mod.
Injustice everywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. I just want to reiterate. I don't think MLK was ever thinking of Reddit moderators, but whatever floats your boats. Anyways,
thanks for the resub, Corey Khan.
Right? We would also like for you to know that
we're
now
a
standalone platform with a shitload of exciting new features for all your cringe and cringe community needs. I don't know, man. I just look at cringe. I don't want to get into the communities of it. The moment you got me signing on to Discord servers and forum posts for this shit, it ain't happening. We've been talking about it for half a year now. Mainly, we just want a space where we can have less serious, more fun environment with content and culture that is not being slowly homogenized with the rise of Reddit. Can we just admit this is just a roundabout way of ban evading? Like, you want to keep the community before Reddit inadvertently just shuts it down. We also think it would help.
I don't think it would have got shut down, though.
The more controversial content
maybe it
we
would
get here. We have been getting brigaded heavily by other subs. Fairly tame posts have been getting 400 to 800 reports, and yes, I am serious. If we don't review each and every one of these, AEOs, Reddit's paid Thought Police division, takes action against the sub. So effectively, they didn't want to moderate the fucking subreddit. They didn't want to
resub Slayer.
They effectively just let it go thrown to the wolves. Now, normally, one person would just, consider, okay, fine. We don't care about the subreddit.
Not sure, Quacker.
Obviously, we don't want to, clean the filth over here. We don't want to, clean it every once in a while. We don't want to make it compliant to Reddit standards. What does one do? Just quit the board, shut it down, call it a day? No, it then has to become some CIA-level psyop. Now, the site in this question is Cringetopia. I don't really want to jump into it because I don't really trust any random site made by the people who...
True, I haven't visited it either.
Because Lord knows what kind of backdoors exist on this. Lord knows what kind of security gaps exist on sites like that. Just ain't happening. Now, I don't have to remind you, this is when Cringetopia went full fucking meta, okay? The moment when you're quoting MLK. Woo! I've never seen anything cringier than that. Now, of course, when I actually look at the actual post over here by the user, surprise, surprise, that account has been suspended. I don't know what's going on. Maybe Reddit sent out John Wick and these guys just pissed on the dog. And he's just going after him. These accounts are getting taken down.
Yeah, Master Duel got an update.
Where one of the mods, like one of the head mods over there, Eln, was basically just sort of like the one that was the lightning rod for the entire anger of the community at the time.
Thanks, Resub Deoxys.
To the point where like even a mod post came in where it says, "Hey everyone,
Archie.
It seems I'm the only sane mod left." I don't think there's any sanity here. Everyone else has gotten in trouble or inactive. Eln hasn't been able to demod me or anything like that. And I want to assure you that I'm looking at solutions to this issue. Again, we thought this was just a simple issue 2 weeks ago. Of course, then came just a day later. Hey, Cringetopians, it's been a pretty eventful 24 hours, hasn't it? There was no ceasefire of furry and anti-furry action going on here. You'll all be
I'll watch the next Splitgate tournament.
Intense roleplay battle. Woo! The furry mods have managed to defeat the Grand Edgelord Eln in the heat of battle. My persona chopped his elf character's head clean off with a giant mod post, by the way. Shit was so cash, and now we have wrestled full control of the subreddit back from his evil clutches. You all can rest knowing that he will no longer hurt your delicate
He's a prime quacker.
Anymore. Now that us furries have
yeah, it's just Discord speak. Again, I'm pretty sure it was all just to promote that website.
Primarily, the subreddit will now be a permanently pro-furry space, and any anti-furry sentiment will be resulting in instant permaban. The previous moderation seemed all too happy to let rampant furphobia fester unchecked, and it's time that I put my towel on.
Needs to give some Sherman.
Comments have also been re-enabled, with a caveat that they must all be in explicit support of furry rights. I hope we can all quickly put the previous dramatic events behind us and usher in a new fun and inclusive era of Furrytopia. Cheers, Corvus Calvaria, the Hellraven. Now, of course, what happened over here was a new mod post basically being put into the situation. So, effectively, they went into the auto-moderation bot and
what is furry rights?
To the point where,
I don't know.
You had to basically
being able to post on a subreddit, I guess?
I love that shit. One of the auto mods over here literally does say to constantly go to their new website, which I still don't recommend you do it. But they did actually throw the bot into an infinite feedback loop, and I'm going to show that to you in a second. I think these two users say it the best. This is a joke, right? Cringe is subjective, and we shouldn't force our opinions onto others by forcing them to say phrases.
Thanks, Risa. Big Rod and the Prime Tomatoes.
This is no different than that power mod. If you want a pro-furry space, then make a subreddit specially for that, so you have people that are comfortable rather than uncomfortable. I understand that you don't want your hobby or choices to be called cringe, but it's important that we all call each other cringe, because let's face it, literally everything a human can do is cringe. Please think rationally rather than forcing your lifestyle choices onto us, because it's no different than those who have forces their who have
existence is cringe.
Otherwise, the war will just continue. This is a post on a Cringetopia subreddit, by the way. To which one person says, I support furry pride. It's the same mod team mocking you and claiming that if you didn't like how it was before, you're a wholesome furry lover who won't support the true Cringetopia on their website. Again, them constantly pushing their own website.
Easy tier 1
Basically, it's a shitty LARP that they're running to mock their user base, except all it does is make them look stupid. Now, what's really funny is when every time you saw people starting their posts with I support the furries or everything, they actually went to the auto-moderator bot and screwed up the subreddit moderation so bad that the auto-moderator started to freak out. Literally within the same day, it would tell people, hello, your comment was removed because it did not include the phrase I support furry pride. And the same day it said, inshallah, your comment was removed because it did not include the phrase I hate furries. So literally you could not win if you were posting onto this. The user base for this entire board was just basically destroyed overnight. Now again, to really reiterate, because we've jumped into a lot of furry warfare and
cringe isn't like it was back in 2012 or 2014.
What's really going on here?
I disagree. We're in the golden age of cringe.
At some point, listen, they were
everything is filmed,
and they had no interest in actually moderating the subreddit that they knew that they were going to go down. They made a website months ago, and in order to do one final push, one final just, exodus, they ran this weird furry op, it seems, in order to just guide people into the new website and just basically burn the whole board down. Now, because of this, the whole board isn't burned down. Right now, it's actually a private board. So
Is resub diarrhea.
all of this happened for nothing. This whole proxy war existed for no reason. And it's not that a social media exodus can happen. Plenty of boards and communities oftentimes switch to their own websites or other locations. This isn't the first section to do it. The only funny thing about it is Cringetopia literally did the most cringiest thing, unironically, to achieve the same effect. But hey, it gets better. Look at how bad their automod scripting even got. We actually saw a Turing test happen live in person.
Well, that sounds about right, Quacker. I knew he was a famous chef, I just didn't know anything about him.
Is probably one of the longest common chain of both a bot and another bot constantly going at each other. So this bot would tell you to go onto the cringetopia.org, and the magic eye bot would say, I don't know what the command is. Try help to the commands I support, and then it would just start an infinite feedback loop.
That's pretty cool.
I swear to God, it's two bots on a fucking website doing a Turing test amongst each other. It is hilarious, dude. And then, of course, 9 days ago, then the situation exceeded even further, to which one of the users, one of the moderators, the new head mod, said, "Ah, the furries have been overthrown. I have managed to return to Reddit and get the furry mod system."
I didn't see this one.
Trip. We shall now return the sub to the state it was. It should be in all comments must include the I hate furries. So of course, that's where the whole moderation changed. Or be banned or removed for 60 days. Post titles must include down with furries, all that stuff. Furthermore, in honor of Ramadan, there shall be no NSFW posts until sundown. It's supposed to be the whole month, not until the sundown goes. Not until the sun goes down. Of course, one thing to ascertain is because they made the new website, they really wanted people to just switch over to the new website, and it really seems like most of the user base was like, no, we're not about to do that. And I guess in some weird sort of like protest from the moderation community, from what I'm gathering, they wanted to just effectively nuke the entire board. Because basically turning it into a giant festering battleground anal pus of the entire website, Reddit would have no choice but to actually jump into this board and shut it down for good. Which I think was probably the end goal of a lot of the moderators. Now, of course, the moderation team, specifically the new head mod, got a little bit serious in the situation, where I guess it basically went into TLDR, hey guys, we're all just pretending to be brain dead. Let's give you the real scoop. Let's give you the real 411. If you want a serious answer, we are trying to figure out if there's a way to allow posting with the limited number of mods left without the sub being immediately banned. If you want an example of how the sub acts on moderation, just look at the last few days. Site-wide violations galore, when there was nothing preventing people posting like normal minus comments, because there are not enough mods left. I saw a handful of people attempting to post cringe while everyone else just lost it and started to post ridiculous conspiracy theories. What happened is what was put in the original sticky. The admins have decided to ban this sub soon or replace the whole mod team. And so they banned almost all the active moderators a few weeks ago with no warnings. And then all but about 4 of them 4 days
ago. So why do the whole furry thing?
That the admins have repeated over the years without fail. The admins had
What's the point of LARPing?
Admonished us outside of disallowing users to post ban messages from places like FDS. We were worried that the ban on the sub would be really sudden and swift, so the site was made and advertised really quickly. Again, that Cringetopia website. The automod spam was a bit much, and I am Mr. Positive extremely worried that the community would be destroyed. It kind of is.
It got nuked instantly
once the original is banned. And we and the users have put in a lot of work in starting the sub. Mr. P started off posting all the cringe himself the first few weeks of the sub, and we
I like how they put that as some kind of accomplishment. Mr. P was a fucking war hero who posted all the cringe solo. This man was the genesis of cringe. The Professor Xavier of cringe, going into Cerebro for you guys. Why won't you go to his website and pay him for it?
Built the sub from there. He definitely enjoys cringe and is responsible for getting the AMAs we had had over the years. That said, Elm had never been head mod here, and it is not responsible to the site nor for shutting down this sub. That was the direction of the head mod, and the creator joked, and the creator mentioned above to avoid the sub being banned permanently. The person at the top of the mod list is head mod. The post was a joke and came a day after we had to close the sub. He figured it was obvious since the mod list shows who is the head mod. The screenshot of him using racial slurs is also fake, painfully so. That's why I don't really share those posts, because unless I can refresh a page and prove it, it's so easy to Photoshop shit. It was made by a stalker and posted here months ago and is already addressed. The mod team did not expect the user base to react to obvious satire in such a way.
How could you not expect that? The majority of the posts on that fucking subreddit were kids not knowing what jokes were. They used to post... What's the guy's name? He's like a really famous satire artist. Started on YouTube, went to TikTok. Oh my God. This is gonna make me upset. He's a guy who makes fun of popular trends and then does it in a really obvious way. And they would post him constantly because they were too young to even know what it meant. Like, the subreddit was very clearly not good at recognizing what is and is not jokes. So, I mean, I don't know why they would expect them to pick up on anything satirical. And it's not like they did a good job with their whole furry LARPing thing. It's still dog shit. It's not the community's fault for not getting it.
Rumors by trolls to be taken as gospel. Like the idea that the website
is recent worm and bagel and frostfire and KFC.
It's currently run on Mr. P's dime and is only accepting donations. Nor are there other new mods to speak of.
No, he's the guy that would do like the here's thirst traps if done by a guy that has a giant beer belly. Like, he was poking fun of trends. And he would post them, and then that Cringetopia subreddit would post them thinking that the guy doing it was cringe, even though he was just satirically pointing out this is how silly this shit is.
They've been on the mod team for quite a bit, and yes, we have always had furry mods, so it never really was a war between anybody, but it was always just something that basically got fucked up because we decided to run this weird satirical operation. Now, I don't know if the subreddit will be truly shut down. I have to believe that since they were promoting a new competitor website to the subreddit that would probably be taken down, as their fears were, one of the Reddit TOSs actually state in your use of the services, except and solely to the extent such a restriction is impermissible under applicable law, you may not, without our written agreement, license, sell, transfer, assign, distribute, host, or otherwise commercially exploit the services or content, modify, prepare derivative works of, disassemble, decompile, or reverse engineer any part of the service or content, or access the services or content in order to build a similar or competitive website, product, or service.
There's Brian Lobster.
By the Reddit API terms.
Caden.
So again, I
Tony's
assume
that
probably means you access the
Is that his name?
to
it might be.
people into leading them into a competitor Reddit-like scenario. So if your subreddit gets banned, people go to your, other website that's basically a fundamental clone of what the subreddit was, right? Like, you can't just create Cringetopia on its own website
how dare you.
and advertise it on the actual Reddit platform. That would be against TOS. And with the amount that they've done that, there's no doubt that this subreddit will probably end up being removed. Now, Reddit as a website is definitely geared towards an IPO, like somewhere to the point where they're apparently eyeing like some $10 to $15 IPO range when it becomes a publicly traded company. And of course, when it becomes a public...
What came up? Why is there whining about volume? The volume hasn't changed for 20 minutes. Why all of a sudden now are people whining about it? It has literally been 20 minutes and 4 seconds, and now all of a sudden people are whining about volume. What happened? You just turn your headset down or something?
Where moderation isn't done to at least a baseline level to satisfy a lot of the normal crowds that are jumping into Reddit. Of course, this is the cost of a community that started out on the real fringe sides of the internet, now basically being amalgamated into this giant, cultural force that it is now. And it has to look clean as it can before these things get publicly traded. Now, that being said, though, that was basically the death of r/Cringetopia. And of course, while that may be excessive, and sure, Cringetopia may somehow come back from all of this, again, from the super cringe that they themselves exuberated in this entire last 2 weeks, but I don't actually currently think that's actually going to happen. Now, I personally don't believe that Cringetopia is going to come back. I think what's effectively happening...
I thought there was a much bigger story to this, but it was just those posts.
It's slowly going to die and phase out before it eventually gets the big...
It's redacted.
Now, of course, what'll happen is, with a community that's 1.8 million strong, I'm sure micro subreddits will start to be made specifically around this, and they'll get even more fringe than Cringetopia ended up becoming. To be real with you, Cringetopia wasn't even that great. I would say, the last time I ever truly visited it was well over a year ago, and to see it now in the state that it is, whew, let me tell you, it's definitely been, it definitely has shit the bed in some capacity. But that being said, though, ladies and gentlemen, that was the tale of how Cringetopia died.
We finished To Catch a Predator.
For this to happen. An entire story of weird furry brigading, psyops, Manchurian candidate shit. And ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something, okay? It was a wild ride indeed, but all wild rides come to an end. So if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike it if you dislike it. I am out.
Bye, Mudahar. So it was basically just the same 3 posts that I saw. I thought there was just more to it. I thought it got like devious, but it was just people like on purpose trying to nuke the subreddit and drive traffic to the website. There's the Prime Nex. They became the very thing they mocked. Yeah, true. Thanks to Prime Astro. What's worse, Reddit or Twitter? Twitter, and it's not even close. Thanks to Prime TGXP. You in here, Munahar? My man. Hey, Rise. Reddit isn't even that bad. It's depends on your subreddits, man. I think your main subreddits are like awful, but there's definitely some good communities. Thanks to the resub Winnie and the Prime Damp, the Prime that guy.